What's up, guys? This is Rise and welcome to another video. We have a submission featuring a Pokemon that recently got what was the best fast attack in the game, Counter, got nerfed, is still solid. It still does a lot of damage, a little bit less energy generation now. But Ledian, a bug flying type Pokemon that can inflict fighting damage on its opponents. Normally a bug flyer would get absolutely demolished by certain steel types or rock types, but now Ledian, with its unique typing and moveset combination, can fight back. We're going to see this thing in action. You want to get this thing as close to a Hundo IV as possible. This is a best buddy Ledian. That is a 12, 13, 15 as you see on the team graphic, along with Shadow Quagsire and Charjabug. Here we go into the first battle. And we see a pivot into Charjabug, understanding, right, you have two better answers to the Greninja. So going to pivot out. And Hitmontop comes in. Okay, Hitmontop, a little spice from this opponent. Not the best answer to this Charjabug as it resists the counter damage. So Charjabug gonna get to another discharge. Gonna probably force a Protect Shield here. I think the Hitmontop will probably shield and then try and counter down. And Hitmontop does usually run triple axle as well as close combat, so you may have to consider shielding the Quagsire here, unless you want to just put it all on the back of Ledian. Gonna take the triple axle. They swap into Raichu, and this is perfect. This is perfect. This is exactly what you want. Pro tip, I don't think you want to swap your Raichu into a Quagsire. It's not where Raichu wants to be. Going to put up a shield. It is a Trailblaze, so a nice shield. Ledian. Oh, why are we Stone Edging? Aqua Tail would be enough, I think. A little bit of overkill there, in my opinion, but I guess wanted to play it safe. Wanted to make sure it knocked out. And now Ledian making its first appearance, inflicting super effective counter damage onto the opposition. Gonna shield here. The super effective triple axle, and then can probably just counter everything down. But why counter down when you can go for the dynamic punch from this best buddy Ledian? Let's go. What a first battle to kick things off. Very nicely done. Ledian, some people I remember like asking for Ledian to get counter for a while now, so I guess it's people more knowledgeable than me about Pokemon in the main series probably knew it had access to counter and thought that would be a fun pick. So now it does. And now we're seeing this thing in action. Stone Edge coming through. Does the opponent put up the Protect Shield on Dugong? Yes, they do. And just going to stay in here with Quag, it looks like. Quag. Remember, Mudshot did get nerfed, so it's a little bit different now. I believe it does one more base damage, but one less energy. Icy Wind connects. They swap in Cresselia. Now, this is kind of a weird counter swap. However, I don't hate this play by the opponent because after the debuff, double X's is not going to really threaten to knock out at all. And this Charjabug is approaching Moonblast range. So Cress may be able to get rid of it. However, Charjabug might be able to hang on. Oh, it's Future Sight. Okay. Future Sight gets shielded. Charjabug now really putting the pressure on Cresselia. This will threaten to knock out the opponent. Going to let the Cresselia go down. In comes Umbreon. They are triple weak to Charjabug. This team is triple weak to Charjabug. And I guess they're running this team knowing that since Clodsire is everywhere, there's going to be less Charjabug in the meta. But it still exists. And here we go. Ledian up against the Umbreon. This is a huge decision here. Huge bait. Can Quagsire get the shield? Yes, it can. That is massive. Now I think you shield. Yep. To make sure you get rid of Dugong. And once you get rid of Dugong, it should be smooth sailing. Just barely gets to the Stone Edge before the Ice Shard that would have knocked out goes through. Umbreon does get a nice farm down. However, Ledian is pretty bulky and should be able to withstand multiple foul plays here and get to that dynamic punch. Look at how little that foul play does. It looks like Ledian could actually withstand 3 foul plays if it needed to. And this dynamic punch might be enough to knock out the Umbreon. Bang! Knocks it out. G to the G. Very nicely done. Ledian is super cool. I was checking my Pokemon storage when I saw this submission. Like, do I have a Ledian I could build? And I don't have one that's, I think, close enough to a hundo, unfortunately. I feel like I got a hundo Ladybug once, and I'm wondering if I accidentally transferred it or something, which is very possible. Yeah, because sometimes I'm just not careful enough when I, like, do mass transfers. And I should probably be a little bit more tedious with that. So sometimes I think about, like, back in the OG days when I didn't really know as much about IVs before PvP was even a thing. Like, how many Pokemon that could have been useful that I transferred back then. Who knows, but we'll see. Charjabug in a good spot here against the Azumarill. Gonna get this Volt Switch down, come out with some very valuable energy. X-Scissors going to spam off against this Diggersby. I wonder if you consider pivoting out to preserve this. No, just going to stay in. I'm forgetting what the lead Pokemon was, if we saw it, or if it was this Diggersby. Farming up a ton of energy. Diggersby is going to fire off the Fire Punch to knock out. Quag comes back, and it's Venusaur. And oh man, Venusaur is not going to like this Ladybug. Double resisted Vine Whip's going to have to resort to Sludge Bomb to inflict damage, and the Sludge Bomb doesn't even do 50%. So the next one will barely not knock out. Aerial Ace coming through, super effective damage, connects. And honestly, at this point, I think you can afford to just let this go because you should hang on, but going to play it safe. Going to shield to get off this next Aerial Ace. Oh, is this the Sludge Bomb? This could be... Well, if it's the Sludge Bomb, no, it's just Frenzy. Does nothing. Throws the Aerial Ace bait. Honestly, I would probably just go for the Dynamic Punch here, guarantee the shield or the big damage. But either way, you're chilling. Catches just to be a savage on Quagsire. What's probably a Fire Punch. And gets the Mud Shot down. Very nicely done. Ledian is putting on a show here. My headphones just got the low battery notification, so I'm going to stick this charger on. I meant to do that earlier. But let's see what we got. We got Quagsire versus his cousin, Clodsire. Quag, not necessarily the stronger Pokemon in general, but he does have a good matchup against his brother from another mother, Clodsire. Oh, are they running double Sire? Was that a Quag that swapped in? It was indeed. Aqua Tails spamming away. Doesn't have like an obvious answer because, okay, I like this. You do a lot of chip damage, then you swap the Ledian. Do have to kind of respect the Stone Edge because that would be double super effective. That would probably one-shot the Ledian. Doesn't feel like they reached another Stone Edge here. Great counting. In comes an opposing Charjabug. Now, these Volt Switches are going to deal super effective damage, but going to be able to get off these Aerial Aces. Aerial Ace coming through. I would think Dynamic Punch might do more raw damage here, honestly, just because it's a pretty strong move. But you can get off more Aerial Aces, so it's more efficient. Discharge knocks out, but seems to be in a really good spot here. Want to be careful. You don't want to let them catch on the Clodsire, but gets off this X-Scissor. And if they let this go, I mean, Quagsire's just going to have a field day. So yes, they're kind of forced to preserve this, get off another X-Scissor. But now they probably swap, right? No, they don't. Okay, they're staying in. Opponent's got to let this go, right? Yeah. And Mr. Quag says hello to Mr. Claude. Nice to see you. Oh, I honestly forgot that the third Pokemon was still around. Aqua Tail comes through. Another Aqua Tail comes through. Quagsire just so quick to its attacks. gets that final protect shield, and assuming it's Stone Edge, you actually can't even double up on moves, so it's a very safe shield here. They go for the Earthquake, which, once again, I think this was something I forgot to mention in the last video we uploaded. One thing that I have done myself a bunch of times is, like, in the end game, if you know your only win condition is to go for the Hail Mary big move, even if they still have a shield, go for it. Because I've been in situations where, like, I bait because they have to shield, but then I don't get to the knockout move anyway. And then they, like, flex calling the bait, when if I just went for the big move, I would have won. So that's like the worst. That's the worst feeling ever. So I like the play from the opponent. Just go for the Earthquake, because Stone Edge probably wouldn't have even knocked out anyway. So go for the Hail Mary win con. This opponent staying in, signifying they're probably double weak to this Quagsire. They did get the successful bait with Stone Edge. That's a nice little bait for the opponent. Now they're going to try and get to the Earthquake, but not before Quagsire gets to another Aqua Tail to threaten to knock out Clodsire. Grabs both shields. Would have been kind of savage to go for a catch, but the problem is if you catch and it's a Stone Edge, that's really bad. Successfully shields the Earthquake. Shields are down. Is this Clodsire about to go to town? Or Quagsire, sorry. Ooh, opponent with a bit of a misplay, perhaps. They came in with a Whiscash. We swapped Charge-a-Bug, and they counter-swapped Mandibuzz. They would have been better off staying in, of course, but sometimes people fall for the you swap, I swap situation. The thing is, even if they had stayed in and kept their Whiscash on the Charge-a-Bug, it still would have been a really difficult situation to climb out of. It's also a Water Gun Whiscash, which is honestly better for the Ledian. It's actually better for the Ledian. Yeah, I think even if the opponent had stayed in, right, they probably were just way too far behind to win this game, but still would have probably been the better play to stay in. Quagsire going to deliver the knockout blow here, the Aqua Tail. The opponent may have closed their app when you see this little waiting screen. And that is a GG. Ledian gets to take the game off. The other two showing that they are still very capable, even in this new season. Those two meta picks. Jason 22. There is another Jason who is a consistent leaderboarder in the community, has hit page 1 of the leaderboard like every single season. We got maybe one of his future competitors here on the GBL leaderboard with another Jason. Stone Edge coming through, going to connect for some big damage onto this Toxapex. Toxapex, the toxic pest, as I like to say. It's so bulky. Going to let a move go through here, and it is a Sludge Wave. It's going to do a lot of damage, but should be able to get the Volt Switch down. Very nice. Lots of energy here. Charge-a-Bug. Going to shield. I like the shield. You got so much energy. It'd kind of be a shame to let it go to waste here. Has the double X-Scissor. May just want to throw back-to-back, to be honest. You've got so much energy. Not sure you can... Oh, and Donphin actually had 2 moves, so going to let it go this time. But now you've got Ledian and a little bit of health on Clod... Or, I keep calling Quagsire Clodsire, sorry. This is interesting. Both Pokemon dealing super effective damage to one another. Gonna go for the Dynamic Punch. Do they know Ledian has Dynamic Punch? Or do they let this go? Oh, they let it go. Do you catch here? Catch. And gets the Aqua Tail off. I don't know if that was a catch. Let's see. It wasn't. It wasn't a catch. But the opponent kind of had to commit to the Ice Shard down, right? If you're wondering why they didn't throw their move, you kind of had to try and go for the Ice Shard down so you could Icy win the Ledian. But the Mud Shots were able to farm down first. Very nice. Jack Bauer, 24. Anybody watch that series? Dude, I almost like forgot about that series. I watched that on Netflix back in the day. That, Lost, Breaking Bad, those were like some of the OG, those was like some of the first series I watched. Prison Break as well. 24, man. And then I remember I'd get mad at like my mom and my sister because I'd be super into 24, like watching it on my own, and I'd be in like season 4, episode 3, and they'd like want to watch with me. I'm like, you guys haven't even seen the first 4 seasons. Like, you can't watch. You don't understand. And then they get mad at me for not letting them watch with me. Anyway, a little bit of a ramble. Ledian with a terrific matchup here against Scrafty, especially after the nerf. An even better matchup. Gonna go for the aerial ace here. I think Scrafty might be able to hang on, but does Scrafty reach another move? I'm not sure. Does not. Beautiful. And, you know, Azu has played against both of these Pokemon. However, this is just a little bit too much. 2-on-1 fast break, as I like to say. Ledian chipping away. I think you just let it go at this point, right? Yeah. And after this nice chip damage, I mean, I would think Quagsire might be able to beat Azu in the 2-shield normally. So, with with a big like health advantage like this, even better. Honestly, I kind of like the Aqua Tails because the Aqua Tails are so spammy that with these mud shots adding up, it's gonna be really nice. Now going for the Stone Edge after you got the shield. Making all the right calls is Jason. I just got a text message, sorry. And, interesting. Behind the scenes stuff. But, Jason, a very impressive showing with the Ledian. Who would have thought Ledian? Quag into Jelly. This is like the first Jelly I've seen all season. The Jelly Meister. Stone Edge coming through. Here we go. Big time damage. Catches on Charjabug and gets the Volt Switch through. Very nice. Bubble Beam. Oh gosh. They debuff and then they go Talonflame. Very interesting. Do they still shield anyway though? Probably, right? You probably still shield. No, you don't. Wow. Well, now you can shield and then KO in 1 Volt Switch. Yeah, exactly. Oh, man, this Charjabug is just being an absolute menace. This Charjabug is like triple good against this team. Has played against everything. Talonflame is like they both deal super effective against each other, so it's not like it dominates it, but Charjabug, kind of a menace against this team. Power Whip does get rid of it. But Ledian, oh my gosh, what a matchup for Ledian here. Double resisting the Bullet Seeds. You are threatened by a potential Thunder here, but willing to take it. And look at that bulk. Takes the super effective Thunder. Going to get off the Aerial Ace here. Aerial Ace grabs the shield. Going to swap in Quag. And you just let this go, right? You honestly live a Shadow Ball, even if it's a Shadow Ball. You get off the Parting Aqua Tail. Ooh, a little bit of a misclick. Thought maybe they were still 1 away, but they had it. Now, this is a little bit concerning. Because you shield a Bubble Beam. Now, is there any way Pharaoh gets to a move here? Pharaoh's going to shield. And doesn't get to the move. I wonder if they had the Power Whip and they thought Power Whip wasn't enough. Honestly, I think they're right. I think a debuffed double resisted Power Whip would not have been enough there. So they had to commit to the Thunder. And that is a G to the G. Jason, Jason, Jason. What are we going to do with you? Next opponent. Mandibuzz, okay. I would say Quag is probably slightly favored here just because the Stone Edge is so strong here against the Mandibuzz. Stone Edge, big time damage. Does unfortunately shield the Aerial Ace. Gonna hard swap Charjabug. Met by a Golem. Uh-oh. Throwing the wrong move here because it was a Alolan Golem. So it would have been better off throwing the X-Scissor. That would hit for neutral. A little bit of a mistake there, but everybody makes mistakes. Everybody has those days. Everybody knows what I'm talking about. Everybody gets that way. Shout out Hannah Montana. Exeter gets the shield. Golem. Gonna knock out here with Rock Blast. I assume we come back in with Quag. Man, these mud shots are chunking. Double super effective. Gets the full farm down with 6 mud shots. Oh my gosh, Quag. You menace. You menace to society, Quag. Would have liked to see the back-to-back there to avoid having to use the shield, but that's okay. Gonna overfarm a ton. They catch on Nidoqueen. Oh, no, dude. Oh, no, dude. Quag. Quag, you monster. You're just beating this whole team. Goes for the catch attempt. But honestly, even double Aerial Ace won't be enough to knock out this Ledian. Ledian's bulkiness is crazy. And we get the counter down. Very nice. I'm going to look up Ledian's stat product just to get a rough idea of how bulky it is. Someone sent me someone had a comment in a recent video when I was like, sometimes I look at the stat product of a Pokemon to get an idea of how bulky it is if I'm not like familiar with it. Someone's like, actually, Rise, in the comments. Overall stat product doesn't exactly tell you how bulky it is. That's more defense. I don't know what they were saying, but it's like a pretty good rough estimate generally of how bulky a mon is. So Ledian has 2,200 stat product about. As we see this Quagsire against Gastrodon here, Battle of the Mud Boys. Quick swap into Charge a Bug. Doesn't quite get the Volt Switch down before the move comes through. I'm trying to think. 2,200. What would that be comparable to? What about, it's a little bit bulkier than this Licky Licky. A little bit bulkier than Greedent. A little bulkier than Miltank. Ledian comes back. What about like Toxapex? Not as bulky as Toxapex. But that's a little bit of a general idea. A little bit less bulky than a Azumarill. What about Dugong? I bet that's close. Very close to Dugong in terms of bulk. In terms of stat product, at least. Body Slam comes through. Knocks out. Sorry, I got distracted from the battle. Some people are probably annoyed. And this is the last battle. Ledian. Shields the Shadow Ball. What a shield. Counter down, Ledian. Counter down. Another move coming through. The rollouts are chunking. Body Slam not going to be enough. Full counter down. What's still in the back? Toxapex, we were just talking about it. Unfortunately, I think this is going to be too much for Ledian here. And there you have it. Ledian with a lot of nice wins, but does get stopped in the end by a bulky Toxapex. And and there we go. There you have it. Wow. What a fun submission from Jason22 here. Thank you, Jason, for the submission. If you guys enjoyed this video, getting a look at Ledian, best buddy in the Open Great League, feel free to hit that like button, subscribe to the channel. If you're new around here, comment down below. All your comments are appreciated. And all of that said, thank you so much for watching. I hope to see you in the next one. Peace.